You've talked about some of the challenges and issues you had to implement this. How can you brief us on the main challenges of developing such capability to cover a huge number of DERs?
First, we are in the lucky position that our system was designed from the beginning for large data models. But of course, the design challenges are, where does the information come from? We get, let's say, not from all of these 100 kilowatt and larger DER any information. So we know what their capabilities are. For us, the first thing was, how do we get the data? And we get the data from modeling the DER. If it's not metered, measured, we get the data from the model. We have to integrate the model into our internal models, including the models for power flow and state estimation. Create a load model from it for the in-feeds and the uptakes. I think that was the greatest challenge to get that done, because there is, of course, our challenge to provide the necessary data models, but there is also the challenge for the operator, for the customer, to provide the data, and that cannot be underestimated, especially if you already have a legacy of installed equipment there. If a new law is passed, and it's comparatively easy to require your in-feeding partners to come up with certain information. But if the DER was installed 5 years ago, the situation may look different. So for us, it's always the matter from where do we get the data. If we don't have the data, we can model based on types.
And as a last question, how do you see the forecasting in this all kind of DER and load management and keeping the grid balanced?
That's a good question.
What are the solutions PSI has?
Yeah, the solutions are interesting, because when we start looking at how is a load forecast done, then we use, or let's say the rollout of DER makes life very hard on us, because you don't see the load anymore. What you see is the resulting load. You have the in-feeds on the one side, you have the loads on the other side, and then you meter something at the transformer. In former times, you simply looked at the transformer or at the feeder, and that was the load you were forecasting. Today we have to go much deeper, and we're providing a set of forecasting tools, starting with neural networks, where you can structure the neural networks as to your needs, going over, let's say, more mathematical methods like extrapolation, and going to ARMA methods, and so on, which are, let's say, pure mathematics in the sense. And we drill that down to the loads, and we drill that down to the generation, and integrate that into a single picture, so that we have, on the one hand, the expected load, or let's say the natural load that we see, generation on the other side, and we can bring that in the forecast together. If we have a weather forecast for, let's say, today or day after tomorrow, with a certain wind situation, and we are in an area where we have, let's say, massive, or at least a number of in-feeding wind generation systems, then we can consider their generation apart from the loads, and have the resulting demand on the system afterwards. And that we need for calculating into the future, how does my system look like in 4 hours, in 20 hours, in 2 days ahead, where we can take a look at the congestion situation, which becomes more and more necessary.
Thank you, Michael, for talking to us.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. And thank you for watching this interview. Please have a look at our group page on LinkedIn, or visit www.psienergy.net. Thank you.